This is a story about the end of two worlds. The Summerlands stretched as far as imagination could reach, through rolling hills and distant shores, monstrous mountains, and strange valleys. The Summerlands were difficult to describe. A world shaped by human myth and emotion, or their progenitor. A place of magic or logic, fact or fiction. The only thing one could say for certain is that it operated on a very different logic to that of the mortal realms below. When I first found the Summerlands, I saw a world governed by the rules of story. And if this is a story, what better way to tell it than to appoint a protagonist? But how does one find a protagonist in lands as strange as these? Once upon a time, there was a warrior who died upon the field of battle. As her last breath escaped from her lips, she found herself in the halls of Valhalla. Now, once upon a time, there was a paranormal investigator who was, perhaps, more paranormal than that which he investigated. On one particularly peculiar day, he received a case that, if left unsolved, would see the very fabrics of reality torn apart. Now, once upon a time, eons upon eons passed, a spirit became the custodian of a library, which served as a beacon, drawing all human recollection into itself. But seeking to read history as humanity did, it sought to give itself eyes, only to discover a terrifying truth that it could not see before. No, these are not befitting of the title of protagonist. They are too strange, too unrelatable. Immortal demigods do not see the world as we do. No, for our story, we need someone else. Once upon a time, there was a girl with the ears and tail of a wolf. The wolf girl howled with excitement as she walked through the forest with a jump in her step. She balanced a spear over her shoulder, and from it hung 6 thick and juicy rabbits.
I can't wait for dinner! Rabbit legs are so delicious!
She hummed excitedly to herself as she neared the edge of the snowy woods.
Oh, just in time! The sun is starting to go down.
At the northernmost reach of the eternal forest lay the Howling Valley, and at its heart a small and ancient village. Lumi looked over the snow-covered valley cradled between the mountains.
Rabbit leg, yum, yum, yum.
She started rummaging through her bags, retrieving her runestones and equipment.
Okay, I gotta do it how Grandma always did.
She picked up 2 stones, They glowed dimly and had runes carved and painted on them. The origin and meaning of these runes had been forgotten, yet the shapes held power and utility, so they were remembered. The wolf girl approached the tall torches placed by the edge of the woods.
Here we go!
She flicked 2 stones together, causing blue sparks to fly out.
Oh, it didn't work?
She flicked the stones against each other again, but the sparks did not catch.
What did Grandma say to do?
Hard and swift, along the edge.
Hard and swift, along the edge. Okay!
And this time it worked. The blue flame caught, and through the warding ropes the fire spread from torch to torch, down the valley, and encircled itself around the village, providing protection for yet another night.
Warding flames up! Be at ease!
The voice of the strong wolfman who guarded the village entrance could be heard booming throughout the village. And then, like the switch of a light, what was a cold and empty town at the farthest reaches of nowhere became a warm and bustling community.
The flames are up! It's time to play!
Children fluttered from out their huts. Warm and yellow lights lit up the tiny streets and alleys. The bonfire at the heart of the village was lit. The traveling wolf merchants unveiled their wares. At the end of a long and cold day of work, the night's festivities were enjoyed by all.
Dinner time! Ah!
Where do you think you're going?
The guard grabbed the wolf girl by the neck of her shirt and lifted her up.
Hey, love it down, Ilmari!
You were supposed to set up the warding spell an hour ago.
As long as I do it before the sun sets, what's the big deal?
The sun was setting!
It wasn't down yet.
You're so damn annoying. Just do it earlier tomorrow.
Fine, I will!
And it was then that the wolf girl called Lumi bit the arm of the guard who held her from her precious dinner. He let her go instinctively, and she went running off.
I'll bite you harder next time! Rah!
How dare you assault a guard!
Such an energetic young guardian we've received.
She needs to take this job more seriously.
It will be alright. Let Lumi take the time she needs to settle into her role. Her grandmother only just passed, after all. In time, she will make for a great guardian. I am sure of it. And besides, the spirits of Eld are just that. Spirits, echoes of a time long forgotten. There are more dangerous things in those woods than shades of the past. The Ilmari. Now, why don't we have some dinner,
Only if a certain old-timer is buying drinks.
Well, why not?
The deep layers of snow which covered the vast fields of the valley held secrets buried beneath. Every night, something strange would happen. Spirits would rise from the ground and wander the eternal forest, hostile to all living things, but mostly weak and dormant. They would wander aimlessly. And then at sunrise they would disappear. Nobody knew why or how, only that it had always been this way, as long as anyone could remember, and as long as the stories stretched back. What truly are you?
I want 10 juicy rabbit legs. Grill them up for me, Kaarina.
Nice hunt, Lumi. Put them over there by the others. I'll get them on the fire.
Can I have a big boar steak as well?
Can you pay for it?
I mean, I am the new guardian, right? Doesn't that account for some credit or something?
Haha, sure, why not? But just tonight, okay?
Yay! You're the best, Kaarina! Lumi! Lumi! Were you out catching rabbits? Yeah! I thought of a massive monster rabbit as well. Wow! Really? Mm-hmm. It was trying to protect its rabbit minions from me, but I grabbed my spear and said, "Hey, big stupid monster rabbit! You're meant to share in return for us cleaning up the forest and planting stuff that you guys eat too!" And then he understood, and we became friends. Whoa! Ooh, tell us more stories, Big Sister Lumi! Sure, I'll tell you more while we wait for dinner.
Your platter is ready, Lumi.
Yay!
The village was a joyous place for the wolf people who lived in the eternal forest of the north. Hunting, games, songs, and stories filled their days and nights. Some would travel between the different wolf settlements, and some would venture out, but few ever returned. The Summerlands were vast and strange, so the wolf people stayed where they knew comfort and fun. The forest, their home.
Come on, Ilmari. Have another steak. You're gonna be a big buff guardman!
Stop patronizing me.
So you don't want another steak then?
I didn't say that.
As the people of the village exchanged stories, drank, and ate their fill of the forest's bounty, they did not take notice of a visitor. The visitor looked on as the wolf people of the village enjoyed themselves. And then it turned around and walked away. Through a crack in the walls surrounding the village. Through the warding fire, untouched by its flame. Onto the blanket of ancient snows, where the spirits of Eld wandered without aim. And beneath the star-filled dark skies, it let out a bark. So it's old magic then. If this was a story, it would need conflict. A large spirit walked towards the yellow lights of the village. It was stopped by the warding flame which burnt brightly, keeping out any outsiders. But something was wrong. It was not deterred. It clawed at the flames, hurting itself yet clawing further. It kept going. Other spirits joined in, as if drawn to the weakening barrier and the life within. More and more of them clawed at the barrier. Until finally...
What was that sound?
Tell us more of your strange battles with the King of Rabbits, Lumi.
Yes! Please tell us!
Everyone, quiet!
As they saw the serious expression of their guardian, the villagers around her quieted down. Soon, the quiet spread to the rest of the village center. And then, they came.
But how?
Panic spread as the villagers started running to the safety of their huts.
Sound the alarm!
Get back, everyone!
Get the children to safety!
Ilmari, the captain of the village's guard, grasped his spear. He threw the spear at the spirit, yet it simply phased through it.
Lumi! How do we defeat it?
I don't know.
Damn it, Lumi! You're our guardian! What do we do in this situation? Focus!
Ilmari grabbed Lumi by the shoulders and attempted to shake her out of it.
What did your grandma tell you? She must have said something!
The spirits walked through the village, but not aimlessly as they usually would. They were headed straight towards the bonfire, which burned large and bright at the heart of the village. Reaching out what must once have been hands, they moaned and groaned. Approaching the bonfire, slowly but desperately. The villagers looked on in terror, most of them hiding within their huts or behind barrels and carriages.
Think, Lumi!
A long time ago, a young Lumi was getting chased through the forest. She ran as fast as she could, but the terrifying thing that followed her did not yield to any of her desperate cries. She ran so desperately that she got her foot caught and stumbled into the ground. Yet the thing did not stop. It only continued to pursue her. With tears in her eyes, Lumi ran again, away from the thing.
Grandma! There's a spirit that's coming after me!
Her grandmother smiled warmly and stood up from the log which she had been relaxing on.
Don't you worry, little one.
She pulled from its sheath an old sword, and from her pouch an old stone. And when she slid the stone across the sword, it lit up in blue flame.
Grandma's here.
With a sound like cutting wind, the flame-coated blade passed cleanly through the spirit, like a hot knife through butter. Even as the spirit cried out, the brilliant blue flames ate away at its incorporeal form, until it burned away completely.
There, Lumi. You're okay now.
Lumi opened her eyes, remembering.
I know what to do! Keep them occupied, Ilmari!
What?
Lumi ran across the village. The spirits found their way to the bonfire, and as their auras touched it, the bonfire changed color and shape. A wild burst of violet came forth from the bonfire, burning far brighter than before. The spirits groaned. They merged their immaterial bodies and their bodies with the fire. Violet lines of old magic spread across the ground, emerging from the bonfire.
Lumi, hurry up!
And then, a spear burning with warding magic tore through the spirits.
What the?
I'll take you down! Ilmari, keep everyone away from the purple stuff on the ground!
Okay.
Lumi stood in front of the large spirit, burning darkly within the corrupted bonfire. She slid a runestone across another spear. This time she intended to go for the kill. If, in fact, these things could be killed, that is. She pulled the spear back and threw it through the spirit. And as she did, it fell from the bonfire, and slowly dissipating, the spirit, now its normal size, fell to the ground. It reached out what must once have been a finger towards Lumi, pointing at her.
Me? What?
And as the spirit uttered its final word, it disappeared into nothingness.
Lumi, you did it!
Ilmari! It spoke.
Lumi?
It spoke to me.
I didn't hear it speak, Lumi. Are you okay?
Watch the others. Keep them away from the spirit corruption on the ground. I need to repair the wards.
Yes, Guardian.
Lumi repaired the wards that night and the village went to sleep, with some unease. Something had caused the spirits to try to destroy the wards. But nobody could answer as to why. Lumi asked the guidance from the eldest of all the villagers. A crone who had seen over 100 summers and winters. She shared a tale that Lumi had heard before. It was a children's story, but the old lady swore it to be true. Once upon a time, there was a people the crone named Wanderers. They had come to these lands from a distant world and settled in the valleys of the eternal forest. In their own world they were weak, but in this one, their thoughts and will could shape the world around them. Here they fashioned for themselves a great kingdom, where they could all live happily and prosper. With time they grew decadent and proud. Their castles and spires rose above the heavens, and their gardens spread across the mountains, floral aromas washing down through the valleys. All was well within this paradise the nomads fought. But the gods of this world were angered at this frivolous use of their lands. And so they tore apart the nomads' kingdom and doomed them to wander this world, powerless and aimless. This story was occasionally told to children, a reminder to only take from nature what was needed, lest nature come to take it back. But Lumi could not shake the feeling that there was more to this story. If this was all true, as the crone attested, why did the spirits break a warding spell that had protected the village for longer than any could remember? And a more troubling question haunted her mind as well. Why now? And so, After teaching the guards how to use the runestones and reinforce the barrier, she packed her bags and set out on a search for answers.
Be safe, Lumi!
Don't forget to chew your food.
Come back with some stories for us.
Bye, Lumi! See you someday soon, everyone, huh?
Lumi's departure did not go unnoticed. From high up on a hill overlooking the village, a nameless spirit looked on, murmuring to itself, as though testing its thoughts out loud. It said,
So the Guardian of the Eternal Forest recognizes it too. The time for passivity has come to an end. There is no longer any doubt. This interloper is probing for weaknesses, and every new shred of knowledge is one step closer to our untimely dissolution. It is no longer enough for me to follow him. I must preempt him.
It turned on its heel, the soft snow grinding underfoot.
We must not fail.